Good morning, darling. At least, I think it's a good morning. It could be a good evening. I'm really not sure. It can be so hard to keep track of time in these caves. I wonder, how long do you think you've been here? I'm only teasing you, darling. I know exactly how long you've been here. Would you like to know? Silly me. I never ungagged you last night, did I? I never took off the blindfold either. You'll have to forgive me. We just had so much fun playing together. It slipped my mind. That reminds me. How are you feeling? Are your wrists sore? I know I made the knots around them a bit too tight, but I wanted to be sure you couldn't slip them free. Not to mention, they turned such a lovely color after a while. I loosened the knots while you were asleep. Don't worry. I wouldn't want those pretty little hands rotting off. Not yet, at least. Finally more awake. I was starting to think you'd fallen asleep again. It must be terrible not being able to see. You don't know if you're a few feet above the ground, or so high that the fall would turn you to a pulp on the floor. And if I do anything to you, you wouldn't see that either, will you? I could sneak up behind you and take a bite here, or here, or I could trace my claws over your face, right over those cute little blindfolded eyes. Don't struggle so much, darling. I might end up poking you by accident. You should know how sharp my claws are by now. If I'm not careful, I might end up poking those little eyes of yours out. Although, I suppose I wouldn't have to blindfold you after that, would I? That's better. I'm glad you're finally learning to behave. I knew I'd have to teach you a few lessons, but you picked up on them so quickly. It's adorable, really. How spineless you are. Here, as a reward. You look so scared. Don't worry, darling. I won't bite. Not so soon, anyway. The ones from last night have barely scabbed over. But it wasn't all bad, though, was it? I tried to make sure it felt good for you every now and then. You make the cutest little sounds when we play together, whether they're from pain or something else. You know, I bet you're feeling sore from being tied in the same position all night. How about I cut a few of these threads so you can stretch a bit? Would you like that? You know, if I'm making you such a generous offer, the least you can do is answer me. Do you want me to cut some of those threads, or would you rather I bind you so tightly that your arms rot off instead of your hands? I thought so. Hold still, darling. I hope you're grateful for how kind I'm being to you. If you've been caught by another Arachne, they would have strung you up and eaten you before you even got the chance to beg for your life. None of them would have blamed me for doing the same. In fact, they'd think it odd I've kept you alive so long. Maybe I am odd. Maybe I've let this drag on long enough. What do you think, darling? Do you think it's time for me to cut my losses? You scream so loudly even through the gag. And that face of yours, and the look on your face, is precious. You didn't think I'd let you fall, did you? I would never. Not with how much fun we've been having together. I just wanted to give you a bit of a scare. And leaving you swinging upside down seemed like a fun one. It's not my fault you didn't notice the threads around your legs. I have to admit, I like the sight of you hanging like this. I might have to leave you like that for a while. Do you know what happens if you leave someone hanging upside down, darling? First, the blood rushes to their head and makes them dizzy. Then, it keeps pooling in the upper half of their body until it crushes their lungs. They'll suffocate within a day, 2 days if they're lucky, or maybe unlucky. I suppose I don't want you to suffocate too quickly. How about I take the gag out, help you breathe a little easier? Remember though, if you get too feisty, it goes back in. Or I might just cut your tongue out instead. There, how does that feel? What was that? I couldn't quite hear you. Speak up, darling. Why am I doing this? Tell me something. Why do you think I'm doing this? Oh, I think you do know. At the very least, you have your own idea. Go on, speak up. Be honest. If I think you're holding back, I'll gag you again. Because I hate you? Not quite, darling. Imagine something for me. Imagine you set out into the world to find a place to call your own. You don't bother trying to find friends or a family. All you want is a peaceful life. Eventually, you find a cozy spot and you make yourself at home. Now imagine you get found. Some disgusting little creature comes into your new home and works themselves into a frenzy. When you ask them to leave, they call you a monster. When you try and force them to leave, they try to kill you. And when you kill them, more of them show up and try to kill you as well. It doesn't even matter that, after a while, they come for your treasure instead of revenge. They still try to kill you all the same. Tell me, what do you think that would feel like, Having your home overrun with vermin who want to kill you for the sin of being what you are. Who think a few coins and trinkets are a fair price for your life. Do you think you could get through that without becoming someone else? I don't hate you, darling. I hate humans. I hate your entire miserable race, and killing the humans that wander into my web just doesn't make me happy anymore. Your lives mean nothing to me. Your deaths mean nothing to me. But your fear, your anger, your pain, that means more to me than all of my treasure. If I can have those, if I can have you, then I can be happy. It's as simple as that. You're sorry? If you're hoping saying sorry will make me set you free, you can forget it. You're not going anywhere. You're mine until the day I get bored of you and split your skull on the rocks. You're still sorry? A long time ago, that might have mattered, but not now. The last thing I need now is pity from a greedy, spineless, worthless little creature like you. You know what? I've had enough talk. How about I get you cozy in the web again, and we test how much noise you can make through that gag? If you behave, I promise your screams won't all be from pain. After all, I may hate humans, but I do love having you around, darling.